Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere, and even earn money. We like that. All in one place for totally free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your cellular telephone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else, those other places that podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free, zero catch. We've been using it ever since we started How Long Gone. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like having the option of turning off the Q&As and the polls on the user dashboard has really helped boost my creativity and take it to another level. I highly recommend giving it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
Jason Stewart.
It is Sunday afternoon. It's probably the most truly perfect weather day today. You know, if we're autumn hive, I think it's going to go away tomorrow though. But what a beautiful day in suburban Glendale.
I agree. I'm sure it's pretty in the suburbs. It's pretty nice in the city too.
Yeah, there is a lot of Armenian unrest going on in my neighborhood, though.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit. I don't have the full details, but it sounds like it's a pretty serious issue that they're taking to task in Delilah.
Yeah, they're protesting the conflict going on, where basically hundreds or thousands of Armenians are being attacked. It's a bummer. I feel bad for my comrades over here, but Turkey's coming in, Azerbaijan is coming in. It's kind of weird though that like it's such a big thing that nobody is really, like, not much of the news is covering it whatsoever. You don't really see anything about it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because I see, at least over here, a lot of cars driving around with Armenian flags, on both sides, et cetera, et cetera. But that's kind of the what that's all I'm seeing kind of here.
Yeah,
definitely not on the news.
Yeah, it's weird. Hopefully things work out over there. To all of our Armenian bros going through it right now, and babes. We have a lot to cover. We've had a whirlwind week of our spreading. Our spreading has continued to continue.
No days off, as they say. Jason, as we
try to approach herd immunity, there really are no days off. There are lives at stake.
Well, Jason, creatives are the new athletes. Don't forget that.
So last night, we can start at the start. Last night, we were able to contact one Zach Bia to secure the 8 p.m. reservation Saturday night at the failing Delilah restaurant. I would call it more of an ultra lounge that is pivoted to a restaurant, in these difficult times. But I think I understood what you meant. It is not an ultra lounge though. It is not.
Chris, I don't want to get into semantics with you, Chris, but it's not technically an ultra lounge.
It is a look. If you go to Delilah, so for those of us listening who don't know, it is a restaurant and that turns into a nightclub later on that Drake and lots of other celebrities frequented over the last couple of years. Kylie and Kendall and everyone had birthdays there, and it's a whole thing.
Now it was our turn, of course, because How Long Gone, we take you to the front lines of celebrity and influencer culture. These other podcasts look at you from the sidelines. Jason and I are in the front lines, literally actually risking our lives. Would you agree, Jason?
We are in the trenches eating at some of LA's worst restaurants because now that COVID happened, it's somehow funny to visit these. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like the Berlin Wall has crumbled, and we're finally able to explore the other side of Germany. Of like, oh, I guess I'll go to Boa Steakhouse. I guess I'll go to Delilah. You know, all these places where like a food influencer like myself would never in a million years attend unless it was free, of course. But I would never go and spend, you know. So like, if you go to the Delilah website, their description of the restaurant is Delilah brings a modern approach to the vibes of the roaring 20s with American cuisine and Art Deco characteristics. It's a luxury space, tastefully crafted, so you can repeat all three without skipping a beat: drinking, dancing, and eating. Live performances and surprise acts with lounge-style bottle service following. So it's like a swinging kind of Great Gatsby feel going on, Cafe Society energy, but then, you know, our bro Rocktacon just plays, you know, a Cardi B song and, you know, Living on a Prayer. Shout out, you know, hopefully Rock is listening. What's up? But like they would have, you know, Justin Bieber will come and sing a song with like a jazz band playing, and people can dress up in a flapper-like uniform, I guess.
I will say when I did go indoors to the Delilah, the actual place, because obviously the dining takes place in the parking lot like all other restaurants right now.
Well, yeah, right now Delilah Alfresco is popping off.
When I you know, wove through the inside, I did notice a small jazz style drum kit against the wall, so it really is swinging in there. I think when it's really at full tilt, you know what I mean?
Full twilt. I also noticed that their decor seems to be a like Sunset Tower kind of stolen valor going on, because like the
I would agree,
like the line drawing cartoon caricatures of people, you know, toasting champagne flutes and things like that. It's a direct bite from legacy Hollywood establishments like the Tower. But more importantly, you know, obviously the food was not good. Obviously it was very expensive. Their chicken the chicken tenders on the menu were $25 for attendees.
Well, Jason, I mean, I didn't eat them, obviously, because I care about the animals on our planet and the future of us as a society. But
damn, voice for the voiceless, stand up.
That's me.
I did have a $22 double cheeseburger, not unlike a, you know, double that you would get at In-N-Out for $3.85. It was definitely not as good as In-N-Out, and it was $22. But every place like that, every like expensive hotel bar burger situation, the burger's always a letdown, but the fries are always a massive nut. They're always A+ fry. I don't know how they do it.
The fries were indeed hitting. I would agree. But overall, what would you give the overall experience?
Well, I mean, it has to start at the start. I'm getting ahead of myself. So we pulled up, and you know, since it's an al fresco dining experience, we pulled up in front, and there was a line of people kind of queued up, ready to go, and I was like, this crowd's looking a little scrunge, as one might say.
It looked a little, as you like to say, Jason, bridge and tunnel.
It was a little bridge and tunnel, like my friends on the Great British Bake Off would say, a little rough and ready, as it were. Yes. And luckily, our friend Twin Coleman pulled us out of the bends and said, no, we're around the corner. This is some type of like nasty WeHo pop up for people who work at like content creation studios but aren't actually creating the content. Just like,
yeah, this is definitely a project manager vibe in this line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's where
Culver City project manager vibe.
Mm-hmm. It's where the gays go, but not the fun ones, you know, just like the regular ones.
There's nothing worse than that. There's nothing worse. Honestly, that's my least favorite scene on Earth. But so yes, Twin pulls up looking great in a Margiela, a black Margiela sweater, and some jeans. Anyway,
and then, but
no mask, of course. Let's not, you know.
No mask.
Let me set the scene.
Margiela hasn't made one yet. And if they have, it's not available for purchase. But before we even get out of the car, I'm immediately delighted to see a gentleman is outside trying to get into, not Delilah, but trying to get into whatever this janky pop-up is, wearing a T-shirt that says creatives are the new athletes. And this is being worn in earnest, full, you know, he believes in this, blah, blah, blah. So I can't stop laughing already. Like it's already worth the trip. I don't even have a martini in me yet. I'm ready to get popping. And then I look while we're waiting. I Google. I just type in athletes, or I just type in creatives are, and then my Google autofills immediately to creatives are the new athletes. And then I'm taken away to an assortment of images and different products that they make, where they take the Helvetica font and write "creatives are the new athletes" on socks, hoodies, shirts, hats, swimwear, sunglasses, whatever.
Was there? It felt like a Zazzle. It felt like there was there a throw pillow?
Well, that was I stopped looking on the officially licensed merchandise website, and then
Smart.
TJ likes to swim in some murky waters on the net, and I was able to find any terrible phrase can be turned into a pillow and found on the internet pretty easily. So that's usually my go-to. So I was able to find the pillow, which I then posted to Twitter because it was just funnier than a shirt. And then the amount of people who didn't realize that I was posting this as a joke is staggeringly high.
That's alarming, and this goes back to the thing that you can't choose your followers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys are unfortunately more dumb than we thought.
I don't know what to do about it, because then it's like, are all these people under the assumption that I posted this, for realsies? Is now that's what's keeping me up at night. I mean, it's not really,
Jason,
but
we're clear.
I'm sad.
That's why we have this outlet to clear the air on situations like this. When social media goes awry, we take to the airwaves and set the record straight. You know what I mean? So, and that's what we're doing right now. So just to be clear, guys, Jason was making a joke about that pillow. He did not buy it. He doesn't think it's cool. He actually was making fun of it because it's not cool.
That being said, after sleeping on it for a night, I am kind of starting to believe that creatives are actually the new athletes. It's when you really think about it, it isn't nonsensical. I would have gone entry level plane of thought, but now it's complex. It has layers to it, like a fine wine.
That I would say that shirt, that spotting,
that was all the aperitif I needed for yesterday's dining experience.
That set the tone to enter the Delilah alfresco dining experience, which took place, I believe, if you're on Santa Monica, Delilah has a nice facade out front. Logo prominently displayed, a giant custom-made rug with their floral logo, and then just to the left,
use
of course,
vacuuming, but we are in a pandemic.
We're in a pandemic, but then just right to the left, there's a nice plot of concrete that is now has been turned into a dining room for Hollywood's young and sexy. Which obviously so our group belongs to that.
Just to clarify, the nice plot of concrete is a place where cars are parked, right?
Yes, exactly. It's a parking structure, but a flat one with only one level.
It's a single level parking structure that
exactly.
Various Aston Martins and gull wing doored Benzes could park there if one needed to.
So my illustrious co-host Jason, myself, friend of the show Yimi Yayo, friend of the show Twain Coleman.
It was a lads' night out.
It was a boys' night on the town in WeHo,
Mikey.
and we don't. Well, I wasn't going to mention Mikey because he was 40 minutes late, but I guess I will. And when we say boys' night, guys, don't get the wrong idea. It was a man's night. You know what I mean? There was no fucking funny business going on. Okay, like you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
All we did was I just talked about various home improvement projects I've been working on, and then the rest was just football. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's all we talked about, really. I think. I mean, I don't know.
One weird trend that I've been experiencing with my with our like novelty alfresco dining is everywhere I go, it happened. I guess Tim Dillon mentioned that he only wants to dine at corporate steakhouses, and that's sort of we're doing our own version of that, because every place I go to, the only thing that I drink is martinis filled to the brim with blue cheese olives.
We know, Jason.
Which is an odd through line that every one of these restaurants that I'm going to eat at for a goof or a prank, all proudly, it started off as a joke when we went to Sunset Tower, and I was like, First of all,
okay. I'm not going to allow you to throw the historic Art Deco landmark of the Sunset Tower into the same bucket as Delilah and Boa. Let's not do that.
Sunset Tower is a great place to get a drink, but you should not exchange money for food products there.
Jason, look, Jason, because we're so starved for social interaction and to see other humans, none of this matters. We're not there for the food like we were at one point. We're there for the experience.
Chris,
and that's
you're
always
starved for carbs.
Luckily, sweetie, I always was there for the experience. So this letdown of food doesn't affect me. I'm Teflon. It rolls off.
That's fair. That was a low blow dig, and I do take that back. But when we were there, I asked what are your olive options when ordering a martini. Sort of has a joke, but also, wouldn't mind to hear the answer.
Hoping for a sweet little surprise from our British server, Jade.
And Jade, and almost every place I go to now, I will ask that. It started off as a joke thing to ask, but now I'm glad I do, because every place says, oh, we have regular olives and we have blue cheese olives. And Jade let us know that the blue cheese ones taste great.
And then when little Jason needed extra, she bought him a nice rocks glass full of snacking blue cheese olives to hold him over between his Caesar salad and his burger and fries, because his tummy was growling.
Yeah, well,
TJ had too much liquor, not enough food.
I did eat 7 blue cheese olives yesterday. And they were the olives were a little under. They could have been softer. They were a little too toothsome for my liking, but probably the most enjoyable meal thing that I ate yesterday was ironically the only thing that was complimentary. But the French fries, mamma mia. But Delilah even fucked up the mayonnaise. Even their mayonnaise tasted weird.
That is, but we look. So our another friend of the show, Mikey MDC, he showed up. He was able to show up 40 minutes late.
Mm-hmm. Well, he had a big day.
Yeah, he doesn't like to. He's not used to working, so I think he was pretty stressed out. He showed up 40 minutes late, but he looked great. You know what I mean? So basically, our table was looking like motherfucking Entourage in its prime. I would say, Jason.
Yeah, we were the only table that wasn't celebrating a Persian birthday or wasn't like a side chick fucking somebody who is like a third string NBA player. There were multiple fellas there wearing like Kid Cudi merchandise hoodies.
Also,
I saw in tiny. I was feeling for my other tall kings, but there would be guys wearing like this mustard yellow, $1,100 hoodie.
It was merchandise from the Kid Cudi Kanye West collaboration. The ghost
Kids
thing.
See Ghosts. Yeah. So a grown ass man, like a 7 foot tall guy wearing a Kids See Ghost hoodie that like a middle schooler should be wearing, and then like some terrible luxury sneakers that don't fit him really, and then some jeans that start with an A and end with a Miri, and then
he had a thick thing with him, you know what I'm saying? He was still stunting in his own little way.
But I felt bad for them because they were all sitting in a chair that was, it made them look like a little kid sitting in a chair, and then that also made me realize that that's what I look like when I'm sitting in a regular chair.
Yeah, it did. That is exactly what you look like.
Yeah.
And
that was a little knock on my self-confidence as I'm walking into the door of Delilah. I didn't need that.
Well, we swagged through, though. You know what I'm saying? We came through. We were absolutely the best dressed in the building. There was some Hervé Leger bandage. There was some Amiri. There was some fucking Kids See Ghost merchandise. I bet there was some fucking church merch in there if we looked hard enough, but we didn't look that hard.
There was probably some church merch.
There's also
a couple founders.
Yeah, they're definitely a founder. A guy walked in, a pretty good-looking guy, a little thick, drinking a coffee at 9 p.m. from Starbucks, which
he brought in the to-go coffee into a 9 o'clock Ultra Lounge dinner reservation, which is strong founder energy.
Yeah.
If I had a pussy, it would be dry as the Sahara. Seeing that.
There's also a handful of like extreme, the LeBron style manicured beard, but large. Which as a person
that's the
who
failed founder haircut.
As a person who, unfortunately and admittedly had a large beard at one time in his life, I let that shit cook because you either got to go tight or you got to go raw, and you can't combine. You can't bring the straight razor and get the line on the cheek. That just ain't the look.
Yeah, and so what year was it when you had long?
Probably 2011, 2012.
Okay, so we're about a decade ago. And that's when you were appearing on various Bear Tumblr pages, correct?
That's when I had galvanized the Bear community with me, yes.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a relationship that you forged early in your career, and it's paid dividends, hasn't it?
It has paid dividends, and that's why I always speak to my constituents directly, and that's why I'll continue to get reelected to office.
And when some people accuse you of being a gay baiter, then you say, "Honey, I've been doing this since you've been in diapers."
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like this is the only thing I know how. This is all I know how to do. To be honest,
you've heard of Ruth Bader, Chris's gay baiter.
Woo! Mm-hmm. All right. So Delilah, overall, though, I would say
I would go back in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. We had some laughs. Everybody was in good spirits. I did enjoy the French fries. Even I had a cheeky potato.
Yeah, it's hard. I'd like to try to figure out. Maybe this can be some content for the subby moving forward. But like, how does one who like is a self-respecting food enthusiast enjoy a dining experience at a place like this where food is playing second fiddle to the other situations? Because I would feel bad just going there and just drinking 5 martinis and getting like a side of French fries, and they'd be like, you know what, bro? Like, we could have had some big ballers ordering the ribeye steaks here at this table, and you're fucking it up. I'm not comfortable in that situation.
Well, Jason, the thing about you that I deeply love is that you're kind of up for anything. You're down to clown. So like, if even you're okay to spend $100 to have fun, even though it's not going to be up to snuff food wise. You just understand. You just have to be able to compartmentalize that it's two separate experiences.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that word experiences is really what it boils down to. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I just said
I'm here to I'm here to invest in moments that are unforgettable, not petty material items that will be thrown away next season.
Exactly. And so that moves us right into the fact that I want to thank Airbnb Experiences for planning that dinner for us. It was really cool.
God damn it.
That new feature on Airbnb.com, I highly recommend it. Use Airbnb.com/howlonggone20 to receive 20% off your first Airbnb experience.
Okay, this is now giving me an idea, Chris.
What do you got, Tej?
Okay, so we have a flourishing career on the Twitch network where we're streaming live once a week, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Make sure to follow us and stay tuned. But this is a great piece of content where, there are the Hollywood or like the Manhattan, like where they do the Sex and the City tour, or you do the tour of the stars' homes.
I see where you're going.
We need to offer a service where if somebody's in town visiting LA or visiting New York and they want to go to all of our spots, our Yelp approved, so to speak, locations throughout this town, we'll rent a nice Sprinter. We'll have some Agua Pana Mountain Valley chilled in the back, ready to go.
Of course.
And then CB and I, we are mic'd up with the little headset.
Yeah,
and we're as we see here to the right, we have, and we'll go to Delilah, we'll go to Erewhon in Pacific Palisades. We'll go to all the hotspots. We'll throw eggs at Dover Street Market or, whatever it is that we want to do.
I think this could be. I think we could charge.
We can put this on Airbnb, and
I feel like we could charge. We could charge upwards of $5,000 per head for that experience. I believe.
Yeah, that's a five top on your head, no problem.
Exactly,
and we're doing that all day long.
You will leave with a signed glossy 8x10 of Jason and I for your home or office. But what you'll really leave with, and what's more important, is unforgettable memories. Thanks to your favorite appointment television / podcast personalities.
Yeah,
and
we will take a pic with you, absolutely, from a distance.
The thing, yeah, and you have to take it. The other thing is that Jason and I, we're fun to be around. You know what I mean? Some of these tour guides, some of these hosts, they're just serving you. This is a job to them. For Jason and I, this is a fucking lifestyle.
Yeah, they're quite,
that's the difference.
And I hate to be so bold, but sometimes they're quite often a seedy character who's potentially,
Yes.
not the most trustworthy, unsavory, person in town.
It could be someone that is potentially living on the fringes, if you will.
Yeah,
in and out of weekly motels, could be dabbling with drugs and alcohol. Jason and I are
could be, of all the years living in LA, just cruising down Hollywood Boulevard and seeing the type of people who are involved in those tours. It's people that would definitely steal your wallet while you're taking a picture of Cameron Diaz's cat without even thinking twice.
Because this also brings to mind, Jason, that we've had a request recently to do a Cameo style shout out.
We've had multiple Cameo requests now.
So, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but should we just kind of take these requests on ourselves, or should we actually join the Cameo platform and give the people what they want? Like, how do you think it should work?
Well, I think we'd have to figure out the ideal solution to what we do with all the thousands of dollars of profit that we'll be turning in every day from Cameo, because it does kind of, we would have to donate the money somehow. I don't.
Why?
I don't know. To me, you have your digital panhandling hill that you're willing to die on, and this one feels odd to me to literally just record a video of me saying like, "Hey, Stephanie, glad you're a fan. Happy birthday, blah blah blah." Send and be done with it. I would feel weird. I'd feel a little icky, as it were, charging somebody, and I'd be like, "All right, well, Stephanie, now just Venmo me $30, please."
$30 minimum is $500. I don't want to do a lot of these. Minimum is $500. Look, if we do a minimum $500, I'll donate all the money to charity of my choice.
Okay, of your choice. And is it going to be one of your organizations that you have found?
We have not found the Done to Death Project's Foundation for Children. Unfortunately, is still getting worked out with the. We're trying to get the 501c certification, so it's taking some time.
It has been a lot of paperwork. Is there a name for this organ? Is it death for the kids? What
No. I again the LLC. It's my team is working on that, but for now, I think we could give it to important organizations that are doing the work on the front lines.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We're awesome, dude. So I think we could donate the money, but yeah, I think what we do to so you and I are meeting halfway. Mm-hmm. We charge 500, but all the money goes to charity instead of charging 30 and keeping all the money. How does that sound? Yeah.
And it'll also sort of double as like performance art and also maybe a commentary on the world today.
I received an incredible cameo from Mark McGrath from Dylan from Rebounder for my birthday, mm-hmm. where he really went in and like Dylan showed me what he sent him, and Mark really riffed on it in an impressive way.
Right. The guy's the cameo king, but that's
he is.
That's I think we talked about it another time, but it's kind of like Mark McGrath. He's been working nonstop for the last 40 years, like being in a band that made millions of dollars, and then hosting television shows and awards and extra news shit. Like, the guy has so much money. He's old. He's retired. He's hot. All he has to do is like go surfing and then eat some bomb ass fish tacos every day and like have sex with his still hot aging wife. That's all he has to do. But instead, he spends hours a week talking.
Jason.
For what? The guy makes an extra $8,000 that month or something.
Jason, it
sullies his legacy.
No, it doesn't. What you're forgetting is that Celebrities want to be loved and want to feel needed, and when the music ain't hitting and the hosting job is not fulfilling anymore, you take it to Cameo and you're told every day how great you are, and you get paid for it, and it pays for your kids' fucking horse riding lessons.
Mark
or whatever.
McGrath, you're a weak motherfucker.
I mean, Jason, maybe if you were famous, maybe you'd understand, but since you're just a lowly podcaster, it's not hitting.
No. I don't seek that level of fame. It's toxic. I want to change people's lives in a different way, not by being like, "Hey, Richard, I heard you like football. The Giants are good today." Like that's not doing shit.
It's making people laugh, Jason. And
Mark's got me fired up.
I mean, I'm ready to join Cameo. I'm ready to donate all the money. I'll do
not a bad little write-off, huh?
No, I think it's a great idea for us. Yeah, I mean, if I'm much like the president of the United States, I'm trying to pay as little tax as possible. So if I can fake like I'm doing something good for the world and also save myself money, then I'll feel like a real celebrity. And that's the goal. That's really the goal here.
Yeah, when Mr. Black is crunching those numbers come April, we're going to be glad we have a couple of those deducciones.
Yeah, because right now it's like it's just a constant. You pay how much for this question? So I would like there.
Yeah, right now your accountant rips the glasses off of his head and says, "This is how much money you spend on coconut water every month." There's enough coconut water to drown a fucking donkey. I'm going
to send you this Excel spreadsheet with your expenses. I'm going to hang up the phone because I can't even talk to you about this. I'm his worst client, but I'm also his son, so he has to help me. It's a weird situation.
Mm-hmm. You have noticed me, Papa.
Yeah. It's real notice me, Papa energy. Well, after we got home from Delilah last night, which was pretty late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm nursing a little bit of a hangover. I'll be honest.
I feel great. We'll get into that later. But actually, before Delilah, I went to a place called Sweat Theory and spent 45 minutes in the infrared sauna to prepare for Delilah. So I looked thin for the step and repeat outside.
You did look good.
Thank you, Jason.
The good folks down at Sweat Theory, they hooked you up. So is the Sweat Theory infrared sauna the one where you wear like the blanket where they put the whole shit over you, or you just go inside of a box?
No, it's a full box.
Okay.
Roddy Rich voice. It's the box.
God. We're never going to hear a Roddy Rich song again.
No, we're not. You get in the box, you sweat, you take a quick cold shower.
I can't stop thinking about you just telling this whole story in Roddy Rich voice. Sorry, I'll be able to block it out.
I would try to do the Roddy Rich voice, but it's not coming to me.
Then I go
anyway, so yeah, I did
box. Then I have a shits in the box. Okay, sorry. So
big bars.
There is another, but you have seen the ones where you go and they wrap you up. Of course,
you get I don't like that. I like to sit in the room. And yesterday, as a personal challenge to myself, after seeing Jason's incredible sunspell meditation content, I was inspired to kind of be alone with my thoughts.
Hashtag what moves you.
Hashtag what moves you. Shout out to Ryan Wilms and Justin Chung and the whole team over there at Into the Well. So I did it 45 minutes, raw dog, out of bag, no headphones, no music. And it was pretty good.
You talking about bucket ass naked?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's the way it should be.
And then, unfortunately, halfway through my sweat session, the couple next to me began to argue. And they were listening to like hip hop in the sauna while they were arguing.
Oh, that is a money back situation. That I would throw a full shit fit and be like, you guys got to give me my money back. You guys ruined my whole fucking day. That's like when you go hiking and you see the dumb, with the Beats pill listening to fucking J. Cole while you're out in nature. One of my worst pet peeves in the history of pets.
I agree.
So that's awful, man. I would
Jason,
threaten with a Yelp review. A Yelp review that says I was threatened with racism.
But I was able to rise above and kind of just I was able to block it out.
Chris was in the sauna. He said, "You know what? Challenge accepted."
Exactly. I said, "Yeah, fuck with me. I got it," and I did. And then I got out. I took a quick splash of the cold water, laid down for a second so I didn't pass out, and got in the Ben's truck and drove back to the hotel so I could prepare for Delilah.
So you're on your little Rick Rubin swag, aren't you? You do a hot, a cold, a hot, a cold, and then bam, you're ready to go hit Malibu and Nobu or wherever it is that you may be going to pull up at.
I'm ready to go make incredible hit records by just being in the room. You know what I mean? That's unfortunately on this podcast I have to talk, but I think my presence alone could make a hit record. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Walk us, our listeners, through what was going on in that solitary booth for 45 minutes with no book, no page 6, no headphones to listen to. Your Jack Johnson or whatever the stuff that we're bumping nowadays. No Counting Crows Spotify playlist in sight.
I wouldn't listen.
Only the sound of a Chrome Hearts ring clinking against the Mountain Valley bottle. That's the only that's your version of the of the Neptune's beat on the school lunch table. Is the sound of the chromey ring on a Mountain Valley.
Well, it's more like that metaphor to me is my brain is an empty mountain valley and Chrome Hearts is life. You know what I mean? And that it's banging against
mana from that. You thought water was necessary for life? No.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was able to just kind of zone out. Lots of breathing, you know what I mean? Lots of deep breaths, which was helping me concentrate. Because sometimes, Jason, when it's 130 degrees in the infrared and you're looking at minute 40 and you got 5 left, it's
bro, 130. That's light work. Come on,
bitch. That ain't. Sorry, I was drenched.
It's okay. We'll work our way up to 160. That's where TJ.
Well, it didn't get there. It didn't get there. I was trying. It was set on 160 swiftly.
Sweat theory, fuck you. You're the Delilah of saunas. Suck my dick.
But it was good and it got me set. But what I was saying is, so we got home late. So yesterday I had a big day. You know what I mean? I did a workout. I went to the infrared. I went to dinner with the squad.
Yeah, man.
Got home. I was obviously exhausted. I slept like a motherfucking rock. You know what I mean? Thank you to Sweat Theory. Woke up at 6 a.m. to catch the French Open final. Shout out to Vamos Rafa for beating that motherfucking Lego-headed little bitch. Swiftly whipped his ass. There's a little touch and go there in the third set, but overall it was a quick win. And then I got on Twitter.com, a favorite of mine, and I noticed a lot of discourse around comedian Bill Burr, who hosted the second episode of the SNL season, featuring literally the worst musician on earth, Jack White.
No, he's not the worst on earth. I did smash the fast forward button during his performances, like I do all performances on SNL. But
he's not the worst musician in the world. Obviously, I'm being extreme.
Right. The guy who he replaced looked
worse. Yeah, good point. Well, he's a guy who won The Voice and is a country singer.
He won The Voice? Damn.
Or he maybe didn't win, but he was on The Voice and has been able to forge a career from that. But people
Jack like Johnson, us should not be on SNL. Come on.
There is one White Stripes song called Hotel Yorba that I really like.
That's a Coke jam. That's a CB's done.
I did a lot
bump in a parking lot to that song.
Damn, that's fucked up. I actually have. Yeah, I used to when I would DJ, I would play that sometimes. That's right. But
damn.
So people on Twitter seem to be, and I Googled it, and there's a lot of discourse around Bill's monologue that it was just so offensive. It was unbelievable that he did this. And then we both watched it, and I don't really. It wasn't so funny, but it was also not offensive, really.
It was not that offensive. I mean, everyone on. I guess if you look at some certain points or certain threads on Twitter, it will be, a lot of people saying that this was highly offensive and it was bad and I didn't like it. I guess white women who are annoying. And then there was also a lot of threads, or at least a little bit of discourse that I saw of people saying praise him. This episode of SNL should have just been him doing stand up. The monologue should have been twice as long. People were liking it and people were hating it, but I mean, I don't think he said anything that was really that offensive, other than saying that black people are equator people. That was a little bit of a dig, but you know he
that was.
He
I would
does have
agree.
the ace
That's
up his sleeve of being married to a woman of color.
I just don't. I guess also, I've always had an interesting relationship with Bill Burr because I feel like it's not for me, but I actually like it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's. I feel like it's too dumb for me, and like I don't like sports, and I don't like Boston, and I do find him to be pretty good, and he's like managed to be. I mean, he's huge. He sold out the Garden.
Yeah, he's a very famous stand-up comedian, but not the kind of person that is going to host SNL though.
That's what I think, but I think that they paired him with the voice guy for a reason, you know, because that's more of like a middle America suburban play versus someone like Megan Thee Stallion and Chris Rock, which to me is very coastal and cool, you know, and just a little bit more like highbrow. Chris Rock specifically is like, you know, considered to be like one of the greatest of all time.
Sure. And he did an awful job.
He was unwatchable.
Yeah,
to
Bill,
me.
Bill Burr ran circles around him. Bill Burr, a person who probably detests improvisational comedy, detests any type of, you know, like sketches and bits type of things. And then Chris Rock, a former cast member of SNL and actor who's done tons of stuff. He really, you know, Bill cleaned up.
Bill cleaned up. Bill was good. I mean, I was happy to see him get the look because I feel like it was definitely SNL trying to push. You know what I mean? As far as like do something a little unexpected. I didn't get to watch many of the sketches, but of course, I did see clips of Jim Carrey turning into a fly like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that was bad.
So bad. It's so bad.
The fly thing is so done.
I mean, honestly, to me, the fly thing was a 24-hour news cycle, and I'm surprised they felt the need to like.
Yeah, but if you're SNL, you kind of have to. Like everyone is like,
yeah, you're right.
What is SNL going to do about the fly? Like, you know, people are going to want it, but you know, I think that, you know, I guess are white women the ones who are the most upset about what Bill is saying, or the most offended by what he was saying? Or,
I mean, he can't.
Is it just some losers and pussies in general?
I think it's all three groups: losers, pussies, and white women. White women. I mean, he came for white women, which is fucking funny.
Yeah, but it's also easy because that's the only real target that he can go for. I mean, not really. I mean, I guess if he fancies himself an uncancelable lad, like I think he may sort of be, then you know he was punching down and doing the easy thing of making fun of white women, which is like literally what everyone can do at any time. But you know, it is on national television, so he can't really shake the tree branch too much. But he, you know, I like that he was using that platform to be like, hey, I'm this style of comedian. I really say this stuff, and I'm not afraid of saying things that are going to offend people. In fact, I like it, and it's funny, and it's, you know, maybe good for you to hear somebody that is outside of your silo, not to use that word, which is terrible, but you know, we need more of that.
I mean, I agree. I also think it's not like it didn't feel like he was like saying things to get a rise out of people. You know what I mean? It was all pretty like measured and part of the joke. It wasn't like it was just like I'm being bombastic and saying offensive stuff to be offensive.
Yeah, that's a normal Bill Burr set. It's probably a dialed down Bill Burr set compared to what he would normally do for his audience.
I would agree. I mean, I've never really watched that much of his stand-up because stand-up is bad. But I did go through a phase of listening to his podcast pretty often, and I love how bad it sounds.
But, you know, that's one of the hardest things in the world to do is do an hour-long podcast completely alone by yourself.
No, it's honestly, it's inspiring to me in some ways.
Impressive.
Like, I don't know if I could do it. I mean, I think I probably could, but I don't know how good it would be. You know what I mean?
Of course you could do it. I could do it, but you know, it would not be great.
Well, the time that you left me hanging and weren't able to participate in our small business together, I luckily had a guest, so that saved me.
And then also on that same episode, I did 10 minutes of solo Mark Maron material at the top. So I guess I can do it.
Yeah, no one asked for that, but you did it. Thank you.
Nobody asked for that, but I felt so guilty leaving you hanging that I was like, I will bless the Team TJ with a hot 7.
Jason, there's no Team TJ. There's Team How Long Gone, and there's Team Chris, and then there's
is Squeeze? No.
Did you just say lock the gates?
Yeah. I am, Katy Perry voice. I am the dark horse of this duo. And you hear that? You hear those Clydesdales a clomping on your heels?
Oh, I thought that was a Budweiser commercial. What is that?
That is Jason the Stallion coming nipping on your heels. And Jason, it's a classic good versus evil, and we all know that TJ good. CB is not evil, but he ain't as good as me.
I'm a thoroughbred, Jason. I'm a thoroughbred dressed in full Hermes. My saddle Hermes. You know what I'm saying? You're shit. You're a horse, and you're doing all right, but your saddle is outdoor voices.
I'm the everyman horse, though, Chris. And there's more there's more of us than you. Do you know how many people who enjoy Hermes who listen to podcasts? There's like 4 of you.
Well, no, I'm aspirational. You're in the dirt. Like you're in the dirt, you're in the mud, in the dirt with the listeners. I'm high above where they can look and hope to be like.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Look, I am doing things on my OV saddle, Chris, and I have a whole squad behind me, and we're clacking down just like what's the video game where you're in the outdoors?
I don't know.
It's like the horse video game. Horse.
Are you talking
video game?
Are you talking about when you get dysentery, like the computer game?
No. There is a horse video game called The Main Quest. No, I was talking.
What the fuck is that?
No, it's like an old western.
Oh, okay.
That's made by Rockstar. That everyone. Oh, Red Dead Redemption. That's what it is. That's what I am. I'm the desperado who's coming down the plane. And I'm, you're the desperado.
My guns look like Red Dead Redemption. You know what I'm saying?
God damn it.
The Draco looked like Red Dead Redemption. I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Your little metaphor fell apart, but I'll let it spray.
Also, you didn't. I don't know if you made it to the weekend update on SNL, but Pete Davidson.
I watched Pete Davidson.
What is up with the shape of his skull? I never noticed it before, but.
He looked pretty weird. I mean, he looked very pasty, and at least he was covering his tattoos.
Yeah. KK was saying like it looks like he got a new makeup artist that was trying to do something about the dark circles, which is but then it just kind of made his whole skin of his face like a weird grayish color. Like he looked even more lifeless than normal. But the thing I did notice is like he seems to have some good angles and some bad angles. Like sometimes you'll see a paparazzi shot of him with a girl that he does not deserve to be putting his penis inside of, and I'll be like,
literally all of them, literally all of them.
But I'll see him from a good angle and be like, he's actually, I guess I get it. I don't like it.
Well,
I'm
Jason,
not attracted to him, but I could see it.
Jason, the ladies understand. He's got a hog, bro.
Yeah. He's working with a winning worm.
Yeah, he's a worm man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but nowadays it takes more than just a worm in order to bed some of planet Earth's finest hobbies.
You can be famous and funny and have a big worm. Yeah, that's all it takes, Jason. That's really all it takes.
Yeah, I guess so. But I saw it's like looking at him straight on. The side of his skull bends out, and he has like a weird skull. Like he was looking real puffy. Like sometimes he'll look super gaunt.
Yeah,
like when he is dating a Kaya or a Larry David's daughter or a Grande perhaps. But now his head looks like a perfect circle. He looks like the McDonald's Moon Man kind of. And I think it looks like the left side of his skull appears that like he got hit in the head with a baseball right before
he might
getting into makeup.
Jason, he might just be off drugs and put on a little weight. That's my guess. That's my guess. Is he might have switched up the medication or is doing less drugs and just put on a little bit of weight because he was also wearing like a lot of clothes. Like he was wearing a hoodie under a jacket.
Yeah, he was wearing like a Quicksilver knitted plaid shirt with a hoodie underneath it.
That wasn't Quicksilver. That was some probably like decently cool designer shit. Zipper, double pocket. It was more of an overshirt.
It was something that you would wear if you were like a white guy who was into Harley Davidsons, but you had a little bit of Mexican in you.
That's actually a good description, but it's probably from Mr. Porter.
The guy. I mean, he's 6'5", 119 pounds, and he's wearing a triple XL, like workman's jacket. Anyway, I don't, and truly unfunny. Everything he said was really, really not funny.
Yeah. I mean, I don't expect much from him though.
I don't know why they keep giving him these looks.
Well, I think that's all he really does on the show is Weekend Update. Like that's like kind of what he's does now.
Yeah,
he comes on once every other show as himself, and he's not really in sketches. Here and there, but not like it's not his main gig.
No. He's not like a Keenan, my king.
The God. Keenan, truly the best of all time.
I'm glad that we're both Team Keen.
Team Keenan, dream guest for us.
That would be so funny if we had Kenan Thompson as a guest. One thing, I was browsing your Twitter, speaking of lyricism, and there was you took a picture of a girl wearing a hooded sweatshirt with a quote line from rapper YG, Faux Hunted. Good sex, no stress, one boo, no X, small circle, big checks. I want to know how that paragraph of words became so popular amongst TikTok dum-dums.
I don't know. This is actually a joke that I have with former guest and friend of the show, Bryn Trill. Mm-hmm. Her response is always, no X? Who has no X? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the number one. That's the number one thing. So like the only people who have no X, those are people who like I guess married their high school sweetheart after losing your virginity after you get married. That's the only situation?
I guess. I mean, that's an interesting way to think about it. I mean, I didn't realize that was 400 merch at first.
Yeah, that's a line taken straight out of the pages of YG's lyrical book. I think it was on his last album, but it was something that like that sort of like when it came on in the club, people would be like, "Oh, that's like, that's cool. I like that. Like that's a good mantra for living."
Well, I mean, in some ways it is.
But also it goes against rap chat of having only one boo. I guess you can still have a boo and then still philander on the side. Is that right?
According to YG 300, but I also think that that's what I said in the tweet. It's only white women I've seen wearing that. I've never seen anybody wearing that except like white chicks that went to college.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think YG jumped the shark for me. I used to like him.
YG had like one or two songs. Now he's literally like the rapper that only talks about Donald Trump. It's a little bit like we need a little more from.
Oh yeah, he did turn into the Donald Trump rapper. That was a little bit of a misstep for him because he used to have these songs that were like when he was doing all those, when he was like at his peak, he just made like club anthems that were undeniable, that were even being played in New York, or East Coast kind of places where it was all DJ Mustard and it was just songs about like getting head. It was good. And then it was so good that Drake would get on every one of his songs, and they would that was peak.
What was YG's biggest hit?
It was probably
Is it Fuck Donald Trump? Oh yeah. Drake was in the video, right?
Yeah. It was amazing. It was a great video. It was all filmed on like Melrose.
Yeah. They were just riding the crazy cars.
Yeah, filmed at EPLP parking lot, and then they roll down La Cienega and Melrose with all their cars. But he did Go Loco, which is a song that I don't like, but that was for the Mexican homies, you know what I'm saying? But Big Bank, you remember that song?
Yeah,
that was
a Big Bank take Little Bank. That's a good song too.
But he broke onto the scene in 2014 with My N-Word. Or if you're listening to
my
it,
hitter.
Yeah, my hitter, if you're listening to it on terrestrial radio. But, also Bust Down Tatiana.
Oh, shit.
Who Do You
That's
Love
a classic.
featuring Drake.
Who Do You Love featuring Drake is a classic. Tatiana's a classic.
Also, his first song 10 years ago, Toot It and Boot It.
Damn. So YG has become, I guess I don't really think about YG that much, but he has fallen off. It's not like he was never there.
Yeah. And also, Why You Always Hating? Also,
Damn.
Left Right. That one's for my Crip homies. And then also
don't do that.
But he also has a song that came out this year that was on the soundtrack of that Will Smith Netflix movie where it was him and a monster called Equinox.
What? I didn't even know about that.
Oh, yeah. YG has a song called Equinox, and the lyrics just say, fuck it up 50 times. Let me see here. Does he mention Equinox Gym?
No. No, he can't.
I mean, the song is called Equinox. Is that the name of the movie?
But Jason, the word equinox means something besides the gym.
What does that mean to YG?
Good point.
Yeah, the verse 2 of Equinox: big booty, slim booty, flat booty hose, everything the same off the Don Julios. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, that's lyricism, I believe is what we call it.
I look like a whole 10 in this Fenty Savage. I'm a Riri. I'm a bad bitch. I'm a bad bitch. Okay, that's good.
That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't know he was that comfortable in his sexuality to call himself Riri.
Look, YG's cool. But he was cool, not cool anymore. Happy that he's taken down Trump, though. That's cool, but it will be a career ender for him.
But he's doing it. Yeah, I mean, I agree, but he's doing it in a way that's a little hokey. You know what I mean? It's like it's like a full pivot versus like I did this. I mean, you had that fuck Donald Trump moment. Like you did that. Like you're not going to get better than that.
But he's gonna have to do that for his whole. That's going to be his closer. That's going to be his Fleetwood Mac dreams or whatever. Like do the thing. Say it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then and then everyone has to stop the music and then. I want everybody to put your middle fingers in the air, baby.
That's actually very true. Oh God, it's tough, man.
Well, that's fine, Chris. We have another great podcast in the books, baby.
That's what really matters.
Podcasters are the new athletes.
That's true. That's our new merch. Just to go ahead and launch now.
Let's do a merch flip on the Good Sex No Stress line. Good guests, no stress. One host, no X.
This is a good. I like where you're going with this. We need some time to workshop it, but I think
small headphones. Okay, yeah. I mean, we're just spitballing right now, but if somebody out there, I think our listeners might be able to workshop this together. It can be a global movement, but take that iconic paragraph of words. YG's mantra for how to have a successful life as as a gang member in 2020. The recipe for hood success. Flip those words to match Chris and Jason's podcast, How Long Gone. If you win, we'll give you a free shirt.
Yeah. We have some great guests this week. We have Twitch on Thursday, as always, with some special surprises that we're not going to release just yet.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, we are a 2-dimensional and a 3-dimensional show now.
It's pretty crazy
we use the
when you think
visual
about
elements now. It's crazy.
It's pretty crazy when you think about it. Jason, it's always wonderful to catch up with you for our adoring public. I will talk to you later today.
Make sure you follow me on social media at @themjeans on Instagram with the checky, on Twitter with the little checky as well.
Damn, titty 2 checks. You probably already follow me, so I don't need to beg. But thank you for listening, and we will talk to you midweek.
Bye-bye.